Hey, what's up, Aries? Welcome to your collective reading for the month of October. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking, for subscribing, and engaging with the space. All right, Aries, let's get right into it. So, first of all, I'm picking up that some of you guys could be tarot readers. Um, some of you guys could be tarot readers. You could be highly intuitive. You may be working with a spiritual community, right? So you could be a tarot reader, you could be working within a spiritual community as a spiritual guide. Perhaps you do similar work to what it is that I'm doing. You share inspirational messages with the collective, with people in the community. This is your calling. That is what you have going on. And as you see here, we have the keys here as well. So this definitely indicates that you are somebody who has the keys of wisdom or the keys of life or has the keys to certain just things in life, maybe also things pertaining to the spiritual that are God given, that are within your authority, that are within your rights. And so I feel that you are somebody who kind of does this very well. And this is definitely, I'm getting like something that's your calling. So you could be just being recognized for a job well done, just, getting those messages out to the collective, engaging the community, and just helping people through their spiritual path. Now, for those of you who are not spiritual, I'm also being told here that some of you guys, for you, it may be the opposite, that maybe you work in a church, you could be involved with the Catholic Church or Catholicism, or even Christianity. I know that some of you might be, that's blasphemous, and I know that that sounds problematic. However, I'm just doing my part of my mission as well. And, none of us really have the final say or the judgment. It's all up to God. So I'm just here getting the messages, delivering the messages. So some of you guys, it either could be spirituality in the sense of, what is sort of like non-Christian or non-Catholic or like non-church, so to speak. But others of you could be working in church. And so I feel like you definitely have a lot of influence or impact, a lot of community work that you do as well from a religious, maybe church perspective. Others of you, this also could be something that you are being called onto. If you've been questioning what your path is, what your life mission is, I feel like also this is something that you could be maybe being asked to kind of do. And that is also supported here with the Emperor, that some of you guys could be initiated into something, like you could be initiated as a bishop or as a pastor or as a church council or spiritual council, just kind of really being placed into some sort of a position of power or a position of influence, rather, should I say, right? Because the power, I feel, doesn't necessarily maybe come with you, but it comes maybe with the establishment or the community or with God, but definitely being placed in a position of influence, right? So this is one of the things. Now, the other thing also that I'm getting here is that some of you guys may have to choose which path you sort of want to go into, or some of you guys may be questioning whether what you're doing is the right thing or not, right? So as you can see, this guy here, what he wears here, he's got the cross on his attire, symbology of kind of like maybe the church, the way that we sort of like understand it or the way that we sort of know it, like in terms of like thinking like the Pope or the pastor or the bishop or the priest. But others of you could be called to a similar thing, but it may be sort of like, I guess, what people would call like the occult, right? Or a spiritual leader or some kind of like also somebody of influence doing kind of similar work, but on this other vibration or this other dimension. So there could be you or one of two of you, maybe whoever, if this reading you find it, if it's delivered on your timeline, that this could be maybe something, a message that's coming to you that you've been kind of questioning or praying about. And so the initiation is kind of like what I'm kind of feeling here, that like there could be talks about you, people could be trying to vote you in, or people could be talking whether you would be the right person for the job or the right candidate for the job, whether you have, you know, the spiritual knowledge or the spiritual wisdom to carry out the job. So I feel like there's definitely a lot of competition that you have had to face with the Five of Wands here, and I feel like, you know, people are competing with you for this position. It may look like that you are not winning, but you may be favored by the higher ups, or you may be favored by God, or people in the community may not see you as spiritually fit or as you are the person to do the job. But however, the establishment or the organization or God sees you as the person who has been chosen to do the job. And so, again, as I was saying, this job, you could be a tarot reader, you could be a spiritual guide, you could be a church priest or a bishop or something like that. So I feel like it's definitely something that you have been fighting for in a literal physical sense, worldly sense. It could also be just that, like, going for job interviews and not making it, or, you know, getting called for job interviews and having to fight through the interviews for, you know, a specific position. In the sort of like the worldly, real life, non-spiritual, non-religious way of looking at this, it could also just be that somebody, you're applying for a position of managerial position or like a leadership position, and this could be something as simple as just being like a store manager, manager at a post office, or a manager at a juice bar, or a manager at a, you know, a museum, or a manager just like at a school principal. You know, it could also make manifest or show up itself as a blessing in that way, in that kind of real life 3D kind of way, right? That's how it's coming across. And so there could be a lot of people who are being consulted. Your CV maybe is being looked at, or people are sort of discussing your credentials, your experience, your background, your history, and all of that stuff in the sort of like the real world kind of way of looking at it. Whether this is also the church people, as I was saying, maybe the occult, if that's also a vibration that is resonating with you. This is kind of what I'm seeing, that this is what's happening here. And but also for those who want to look at it from a spiritual or religious point of view, if you're looking at it from a spiritual point of view, this could be like the galactic, you know, how people talk about the galactic federation, and, you know, the gods and the energies and the higher vibrations, the universe. And, you know, there could be like an ongoing thing about kind of like your purpose being discussed, your mission being discussed, as to whether you would be the right person to take up the position. If you want to look at it from a church religious way, you could also see this as spiritual warfare, where you may feel that you are going through spiritual warfare and there's a fight for your soul, or there's a fight for your spirit. And so it's kind of like the angels of God are fighting, and the angels of the devil or the other side are also fighting for your soul, trying to see which one is going to win. So it really just depends on your perspective, and then kind of like which alignment you're finding yourself vibrating on, depending on your calling, on your mission, on your purpose. So take it as it resonates. I have no affiliations with this. I am just kind of also carrying out my part, you know, just doing the small work, just getting the messages out there as well. And I have no real affiliations with any of the stuff that Spirit is showing me here. All right. So this is kind of what I'm getting for you here, Aries. And for those of you who are already in these positions, I feel like you're kind of being just congratulated and being recognized for a job well done. So again, just to kind of round it up, and just kind of what I'm getting really is just an energy of just productivity, an energy of leadership, stepping up to managerial positions. Maybe somebody also could be trying to run for presidency, or political office as well. Just I see a lot of influence somebody who has the potential to impact a community or society or a nation. And so there could be talks about either you applying for a position like that or being considered for a position like that. So definitely just I would highlight keywords, such as like leadership, manager, pastor, bishop, high priest, priestess, type of things like that. So I feel like this is kind of like the focus of your month here in October. And to that, I just wish you all the best. Let me know if this resonated with you. Please like and help our tribe grow, and I'll see you guys in the next one.